YouTube channel video, and this is a review of Ladies and Gentlemen. My name is Paul Heyman. But here we go. Here's the cover. Looks very nice, and there's like how it has like the barbed wire right there. Then here's the side. Here's the back. Oh, let me take that out. That doesn't go in there. There's the back, him in a chair. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and I have a lot to say. Long before my client Brock Lesnar conquered the Undertaker's WrestleMania streak at WrestleMania, I earned a reputation as a person who directed superstars to success. So this year, while continuing to guide superstars to bright lights of superstardom, I found time to give you a front row seat into the greatest mind sports entertainment has ever seen. Find out how an attorney's son from Scarsdale, New York, infiltrated sports entertainment as a teenager and become one of the most revolutionary forces of all time. Sit back as I shoot from the hip on my life and career while you celebrate my vast contributions as a producer, promoter, manager, writer, general manager, advocate, and all-around creative genius. So keep your mouth shut, your ears open, and listen to one of the greatest stories ever told to you. Ever told. If you're lucky, you might even learn a thing or two. Yours truly, Paul Heyman. Runtime approximately 7 hours. Here's right there, 3D set, and some more barbed wire. Pretty cool. You got CM Punk and Paul Heyman, the voice of the voiceless, and the one behind the 1 and 21. Take a look at the discs real quick. You got him with the movie thing, and there's that, him with his eyes covered. Here's him with the mic, him with his ears closed, and here him with that looks pretty cool, that picture. Then him with his hands over his mouth. But let's get right into it. The documentary it talks about things as a survivor of the Holocaust or something like that. I don't know, it was talking about him being Jewish or something like that, I believe it talks somewhat on that. But I don't think he was from the 40s. I think his parents were or something like that. Photographer, talks about him being a photographer in the late or early 80s, I think, maybe late 70s, I'm not for sure. But he would go and photograph WWF shows. And when Vincent Sr. was there, when he was a promoter in ECW, promoted that. Then a manager, talked about him being a manager and stuff. Like that he was just a manager. It went over his career right there, but then it went in depth. Starting with Memphis, when he first got into the wrestling after the taking pictures of being a photographer or whatever, and that was cool. Talked about how he just did different things in Memphis, and then he made his way to AWA. Talked on AWA a little bit. That's when he first started doing his promos. And then WCW, more promos, or WCW NWA, his feud, Midnight Express and the original Midnight Express. ECW, talked about him leaving WCW and going to and then teaming up with Todd Gordon and doing ECW. And then Team Mentality, it talked about ECW, everybody was a team, and how they did it even if they didn't get paid. Sometimes that they were cut on pay. That it was a team mentality and they all chipped in. Like the wrestlers were doing the work with the shop stuff and making shirts and different things. And then Rebels talked about how they were not wanting to be WCW or WWE. They were wanting to be their own thing. So that was really cool. And then commentator, when he came in to WWF after ECW closed down. Then writer, he's talking about when he was a writer for SmackDown and stuff. And then it talked about how he got fired and went to OVW. And then the new ECW when it came back in 2006. And then that was into that. After that, he left. And then Businessman is the Heyman Hustle stuff. And what he had done after the ECW. And then being a father. And then his return to WWE. And then the Embracing the Moment. I think that was the WrestleMania one right there. But, yeah. Very, very good doc. It flew by. It was so good. I highly suggest it. I know you can get this for $15 at Walmart and $17 FYE. I think you can get the Blu-ray for $20 on Amazon or something. But I didn't want to wait for the Blu-ray. I wanted the Blu-ray for the extras, but I just wanted the DVD so I could see the doc as soon as possible. Then there's a lot of promos, starting with AWA. Paul E is Always in Contact, August 1987. Pink Suspenders, August 1987. I'll Be Johnny Carson, 1987. Danger Zone with Teddy Bear, 1987. September 1987, and he had a teddy bear. It was funny, Ted E. Bear, like Paul E. Dangerously. You Want to Be a Cartoon, September 1987. Excitement Had a Name, September 1987. More Publicity, September 1987. Adrian Adonis, October 1987. Definition of Pro Wrestling, November 1987. These were all entertaining. It kind of got... The doc was great, the promos were good, but it kind of got a little boring, but... I mean, I really liked the doc, so that's what I bought it for. Then he went to WCW. The sequel, Jim Cornette, October 1988. Nobody Wanted Paul Lee, November 1988. Louisville Slugger like him on Jim Cornette's show, December 1988. The Year of Paulie Dangerously, January 1989. Man, it keeps unfocusing. Danger Zone with Ric Flair, March 1989. I'm So Handsome, March 89. I Don't Have Wrestlers, I Have Animals, March 1989. Ding Dong, Who Is It, March 1989. It was funny. They was talking about the Ding Dongs or whatever. He was like, Jim Cornette, or Jim Ross kept saying Ding Dongs or whatever, and he was like, Paul Heyman was like, who is it? It was so funny. In the Era of Dangerous Alliance, September 1989. Sting's Doll, May 91. It was talking about Sting plays with dolls, and then he was fighting with the action figures, and then Sting came over there. It was funny. Save Us from Captain Oklahoma, November 1991. Dangerous Alliance, 1991. Paul E. Awards, February 1992. The Ultimatum Is at Hand, April 1992. And then ECW, A New Dangerous Alliance, October 1983. WCW Once Sabu, June 1994. Wrestler and Violence, July 1994. Winds of Change, November 1994. Cash Rules Everything, December 1984. Best Damn Wrestling You Ever Seen, January 1995. There Ain't No Organization Like WCW or ECW, February 1996. ECW Comes to the Pay-Per-View, February 1997. We Cleared Cablevision, March 1998. The Card Is Changed, January 1999. The War Has Just Begun, June 2000. That was when he was like, throw me off the air, I dare ya. It was cool. And then Stories, photo of Vince Sr. and Andre. He was taking pictures or whatever, and he was trying to give them to Vince Sr. And he tried to give it to him, and the bodyguards grabbed him, and he got him the envelope. So he got the envelope to him, and then 30 minutes later, Vince Sr. must have opened the envelope, because he said, man with a deep voice came over there, was talking to him, and ended up being Howard Finkel, and he slipped him a 50, so that was cool. Riding in Blassie's car, that was when Freddie Blassie lived somewhat close to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman normally went home with his dad, and then Blassie was driving crazy, and he found out he was blind. He was like 20% one eye and 80% the other. And then when he got out, Paul was freaking out or whatever, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, you can't drive!" And they told him about his eyes. And then when he got to Blassie's house, his dad was there, whatever, and they was talking about World War II and stuff. And then he was like, "Your kid's a good kid, but he can't drive." And he's like, "Well, I'm in trouble." And then Troubles in Memphis, I don't remember what that is. The mole talked about when there was a mole in the locker room, how Todd Gordon or whoever was talking to Terry Taylor about talent or whatever. Borrowing time, don't remember what that was. Conference call, that's what got Paul Heyman fired, or whatever, how he was listening in or suspended or something on a conference call of Raw or whatever, but he told the real story. And Paul Heyman showed Paul Heyman, or CM Punk, saying like, "I'm a Paul Heyman guy," or whatever, and then all the people was like, "Yeah, I'm a Paul Heyman guy." Tommy Dreamer, RVD, Raven, Mick Foley, a bunch of different people, and then Natalia was like, "I'm a Paul Heyman girl," and then Steph was like, "I'm not a Paul Heyman guy. I like him, but I'm not a Paul Heyman girl." Or teasers, these are just hyping up the DVD. Like, these are on YouTube or something. Real story, PG era, statute of limitations, in your face, and more extreme. Then on to the WWE stuff. Paul Heyman hates Mr. McMahon's stinking guts. November 15, 2001. SmackDown introducing the next big thing. Raw, April 6, 2002. That was cool. Paul Heyman, Mr. McMahon, and Eric Bischoff all share one ring. May 23rd, 2005, and that's when they announced the one-night stand thing. Paul Heyman thanks the ECW, the faithful ECW, at the end of the show. That was really cool. The resurrection of ECW, the second one-night stand, I think that's when they announced they'll be coming back to TV. What, WWE? And then from the bingo hall to the garden was when they had a ECW show in Madison Square Garden. Vince McMahon gives Paul Heyman a performance review. That was this year. That was cool. I guess, kind of. I'd already seen it, so I kind of skipped through this last stuff. Paul Heyman gives CM Punk his resignation. It's clobbering time for CM Punk. Volcano, don't remember what that one was. Paul Heyman drops a pipe bomb, and that was when he was like, "CM Punk is not here," whatever. Or some, it was either that or he's talking about Brock Lesnar. I can't remember, but I remember when CM Punk was gone, his music played, and then Paul Heyman came out. He was just booed so bad in Chicago. Then there was 3 matches that he was in. The original Midnight Express versus the new Midnight Express main event, January 21, 1989. That was NWA. And then Hardy Boys versus Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman. That was somewhat entertaining. Judgment Day, May 19, 2002. And no disqualification handicap match, CM Punk versus Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman for Night Champions. So, I've seen barely any of the footage that they showed, so it was cool seeing the older footage. And very good doc. I'm going to give the doc a 10 out of 10. The other stuff you don't really have to see, but I want to get the Blu-ray sometime so I can see those extras. But, yeah, I highly suggest this was great DVD, probably the best one of 2014. It's one of the better ones. I know last year the Triple H doc was good. In 2012, the Mick Foley doc was good. 2011, you had Stone Cold's. 2012, you had The Rock's also. But enough talking about that. Nothing to do with this DVD, but you guys need to go get this however you can. Go on Amazon, get it on a digital, download something. Just check out this doc. It is worth the money, whatever you'll pay for it. And, yeah, that's about it. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. Bye.